Hi everyone, it's me again. Welcome back to my channel. I know I'm a little late, but I decided to review chapters 337 and 338 of My Hero Academia. As you know, I've been busy with school. Finals week. It was very intense. I literally had to focus most of my efforts for that class, but fortunately, class is over already. And goodness, I'm exhausted. But as I promised, I was gonna do for both of those chapters that I missed. I decided to do them together. Yeah, I'm a little late on that. Stay tuned for Attack on Titan. I already recorded 2 episodes. I should be putting up one, I believe, this week. Well, this is gonna be totally weird because very likely, because I know Demon Slayer is gonna come out this Sunday on the 19th, I believe. Goodness, you see, I'm so far behind I am. But very likely Demon Slayer is gonna go up first, and I'll see how I do. So sorry about all the confusions. I'm doing the best I can, and man, it's just been a very tough weekend. Also had to get ready for the holidays. I had to do my holiday shopping, and man, it's a very busy week. And I know yeah, goodness, it's almost the 24th, so you know how tough this week is. Uh, I am not excited to go to work this week, especially close to Christmas, because it's gonna be hell on earth. But enough of that, I'm gonna review those chapters that I missed from My Hero Academia, which were very interesting. Man, the revelations that we got were, I couldn't believe it. We found out, man. But first things first, let's begin reviewing chapter 337. I'll do it as quick as I can because, goodness, I have a lot of cover because, as you know, we find out who the U traitor is. So the chapter begins with All for One. You know, he was talking with Avi, and he's not even concerned if Aoyama were to be caught or fail to complete his orders, because he just sees him as a pawn, something that could be disposable. Hence the chapter for that week's chapter, Disposable Life. So basically for him, Aoyama, his parents are disposable. They're not even worth saving, which is very sad how All for One sees people he uses as just disposable pawns. Once the truth is out there, we see Aoyama's parents try to flee with their son, and we even get a little bit of a flashback. The moment, well, not the moment, but once Aoyama got his quirk, and we see that the quirk was just incompatible with his body. As you know, we even throughout uh, the story of My Hero Academia that Aoyama would quite struggle with his quirk, and we even see on this flashback that, yeah, he struggled with it even during the moment he got it, but due to Aoyama being born on a wealthy family, his parents were able to help him get a little bit more accustomed to the quirk and also help him. Then the day came to pay off the debt. Aoyama was literally forced to enroll in UA and give All for One information about where you guys are gonna go training and all those things. You know, the attack at the USJ, Aoyama told All for One. The attack at the camp, it was just insane that Aoyama was working for All for One during the beginning of My Hero Academia. And one of his final orders, you know, before he got captured, was to isolate Deku, get him out of the school and isolate him. So I can't believe it. Then we see Aoyama completely heartbroken and despairing. He even tells Deku that once he learned that Deku was born quirkless and was granted a quirk, he just fell into despair. And as you know, his friends trying to flee with him. We see Aoyama literally firing his naval laser at Deku. But of course, this attack doesn't even hit them because Invisible Girl Hagakure is able to deflect the attack. And this is one of the most, goodness, I can't even say the right word because of what happened. As you know, Hagakure's quirk allows her to warp or bend light. And I guess seeing this revelation, shocking revelation, she just can't believe it. And we get a glimpse of her face for the first time. I couldn't believe it. I mean, this makes me think that Hagakure, her quirk, she has it on like an on switch like all the time, but very likely this is subconsciously. And I guess after seeing this, I guess she kind of lost control. In a way, it reminds me of Fairy Tail, you know, Mavis when she makes the illusion of Sarah. And the moment she finds out, Sarah starts disappearing because she created Sarah subconsciously. So I'm thinking very likely Hagakure's quirk might be on all the time, but it's subconsciously. And I guess she just got so emotional because of what happened that she was able to, I guess, kind of show her face for the first time. I mean, I was surprised. I thought we were never gonna see her face. And it's incredible that we were able to see her face for the first time. Or maybe I'm thinking it's probably, as you know, she has trained for a pretty long time and got a better hand on her quirk. But I'm thinking probably her quirk is on subconsciously. And after seeing what happened, she just became too emotional and her quirk kind of like stopped being on her, and we were able to get a glimpse of her face. And honestly, she's very cute, and it's very sad to see her that way in tears and everything. Very, very sad. Before Aoyama or anyone else could get hurt or them escaping, Deku uses Black Whip to capture all three. And we just see how heartbroken Deku is doing this and learning the truth about Aoyama being the UA traitor. Goodness, what is wrong with me? After Aoyama's apprehended, we just see just how heartbroken All Might is. And thankfully, this is one of the things I had concern that if once Aoyama was discovered being a mole, will he blow up like how Lady Nagan blew up like many chapters ago? But it appears, thankfully, that he doesn't have that explosive mechanism, so that's good. We see Principal Natsu, he's also disappointed in himself that he was unable to catch the mole way earlier, and he's asking the students to please leave the room. But you know, Class 1A isn't gonna leave because this in a way also involves them as well. All Might's friend Naomasa, I believe that's his name. I can't believe I forgot his last name because usually that's how I'm able to remember them. But I remember his first name being Naomasa. Yeah, I think that's it. So sorry if I get it wrong. So Naomasa asks Aoyama's parents to reveal everything they know about All for One, but unfortunately, they don't know anything. And of course, they're trying to defend themselves like, if we didn't obey his orders, will we dispose of? And even tells them like, yeah, will we dispose of? And then they ask him like, how do you know you were gonna be disposed of? And his Aoyama's dad tells him like, he shows examples that if we didn't obey, we were gonna end up like those guys that didn't follow his orders. So You could understand why they were doing it, but still it doesn't make it right, because honestly, looking through all My Hero Academia, I mean, all my getting losing more time to be on his bad form because Aoyama told that, oh, when the class was going to be isolated. I mean, the war arc, Eraserhead losing a leg, it's just too much, honestly. Then we see just how heartbroken and disappointed Aoyama is. He starts regretting his actions, and to the point that he's like, he's in complete despair. He's like, I even had the audacity to laugh with you guys and everything like nothing happened. And it's true. I'm like, you're helping the bad guy and everything, and you still have the audacity to laugh and everything. Yeah, it's frustrating, and it makes me angry. He even laments falling into despair after learning that Deku was granted a quirk and the burden to fight all for one, and how he's rotten to the very core because of his weakness. And it's very, very sad. Aoyama thinking of himself like, oh, I'm so rotten to the core. I mean, Deku, you were granted a quirk, and you were even also granted the burden to fight all for one. And while, I mean, Aoyama's like, look at me. I helped the bad guy who granted me a quirk. I nearly caused literally all Japan's lives because of his weakness to actually say no or ask for help. And hearing those words, Deku tells him that you're not rotten to the very core. If he was rotten, he wouldn't have tried to save Bakugo and Tokoyami during the training camp. I mean, we saw him like using his naval laser to attack Tokoyami. Dabi and Mr. Compress to save Bakugo and Tokoyami, and he was able to at least save Tokoyami, but unfortunately he was unable to rescue Bakugo. So Deku reminds him, you're not rotten to the core. I mean, yeah, I even thought about that. Like, if you were really rotten to the core, you wouldn't even have attempted to rescue your friends, despite the fact that you were under a big threat the entire time, and the fact that Dabi saw you. I mean, for all we know, well, Dabi didn't know. I'm thinking Dabi didn't know that Aoyama was a traitor, but he knew, and then he saw him during the training camp, and even saw him attacking the both of them. He could have easily told All for One, and Aoyama would have been history along with his parents. And remember that weird chapter of Aoyama leaving a cheese on Deku's balcony? Deku even laments the fact that I guess Aoyama was trying to get some help by sending like a secret message through that cheese, and Deku realizes that that was an SOS signal that he didn't even manage to understand. And I even thought that chapter was very, very weird, and I thought, like, I don't know, Aoyama is like in a way almost asking for help or something. And I can't believe that I think I was actually right when I even discarded that chapter being too weird. I didn't even want to read it again because I thought, this is too weird. In a way, it almost looks like he's trying to ask for help, but man, I just can't believe it. Deku even states that no one should be called a villain for the entire life just because they committed a crime, just one crime. And he's absolutely right, but also absolutely wrong too. I mean, that one's very, very controversial. I mean, of course, people make mistakes. We're all human. There's people out there who make very, very horrible mistakes. And there are those few that I guess they want to atone for what they did, try to become a better person, help society. And there are those who, if they're given the chance to be free, very likely they're gonna do it again. But it just sucks for those who are trying to become a better person, but society doesn't let them. They just close each door after door, to the point that many don't even have a choice to go back to their old ways. So it's a very, very sad situation, and it in a way almost reminds me of My Hero Academia, with what's happening with today. And Deku is absolutely right, but also absolutely wrong, because you never know if that person will actually change his ways, or will go back being the same person and going to do very, very bad things out there to society. So it's a very, very controversial and sad situation. Much to everyone's shock, and especially Bakugo's, we see Deku still reaching out for Aoyama and telling him that he can still be a hero. And that brought me up to the very first chapters of My Hero Academia, where All Might tells Deku that he could still be a hero. I was like, wow. It's a very, very interesting chapter, but also controversial, because could Aoyama still be trusted at this point? I mean, we know that he did it to protect his parents and everything, but how will you know he won't betray Class 1A to continue protecting his loved ones? It's very, very controversial what's gonna happen next. I mean, like I say, I don't trust Aoyama, especially after learning that he was working under All For One the entire time. What makes you think that he's not gonna betray you guys again? And then I go back there to people who are trying to atone for the sins and trying to be a better person. If you don't give them a chance, then they could go back to their old ways. And it's very, very sad, honestly. Honestly, it's a very, very controversial chapter. And then the next one, chapter 338, goodness. Sorry about the lighting. It's I guess the sun is trying to come out, but then it goes down. So sorry about that. So for chapter 338, the cover is actually, man, it's actually very awesome, but also very sad at the same time. We see on the cover both Deku and Aoyama. They're facing away from each other, and the title in there saying that two former quirkless boys. As you know, Deku was born quirkless. Aoyama, we learn now that he was born quirkless. Both of them were granted quirks, but their fates were very, very different. The title for this week's chapter, it's quite interesting. It says the story of how we all became heroes, part 1. So I'm like, ooh, so this is gonna be a pretty long chapter. So this chapter begins, as you know, where we left off, and you know, Deku trying to still offer his hand, but we see that Naomansa, man, I still keep getting the name wrong, asks Sansa to cover Aoyama's mouth, and he tells Deku that he's still Aoyama is still a criminal because he committed a crime to be working under All For One, and also they want to make sure that Aoyama doesn't talk more anymore, because even though they're assuming that he doesn't have that explosive quality or something like that, I don't know, what would you call it? Like you know how Lady Nag had it. So I guess they're gonna, from what I'm seeing, they're gonna take him to a hospital to make sure that he's not raped with an explosive thing if he were to talk too much. And very likely, also his parents as well. Then he asked a very particular question that I was wondering. How the hell did Aoyama's parents were able to communicate with All for One? And why didn't they inform him about the Camino raid? And we learned that they were unable to communicate or send messages with him. They could only communicate with All for One if he demanded it. So it's like a one-way conversation, it seems. So I guess in a way, All for One, it was literally trying to cover his tracks just in case Aoyama's parents were captured. So it was a very good idea for All for One to have a one-way communication. Then we see Class 1A has the idea, as you know, that was like we should throw, well, Bakugo had this idea for Bakugo and Deku that they should throw more people into what's happening right now. And Class 1A has the idea to use Aoyama to deceive All for One. And we see Aoyama is completely shocked, like, why are you still trusting a scumbag villain like him? And we see even they just said his name, Sukauchi. There you go, Sukauchi. There you go. I hope I'm saying it right. So sorry if I'm not saying it right. They think it's not a great idea. Even President Mai, he's like, you guys are getting way ahead of yourselves. Yeah, and it's actually true. I'm like, they are getting a little way ahead of themselves, and also they were like victims because of Aoyama's crime, and they still want to trust them. We see Tanya is like, let bygones be bygones. Tanya is like, he feels like some of the responsibility for not catching the traitor of time also falls on their classmates because they were unable to reach out for Aoyama. And I don't really agree with that because it's technically not their fault. But I mean, it's very hard. I mean, I would still feel kind of responsible for like not catching it, not being able to help your friend, but at the same time, no. I mean, you enroll in this academy to become a good hero, a good person, and that just is too much for me. I wouldn't trust Aoyama, and I wouldn't be able to back Class 1A because with everything that has happened. And we see the rest of Class 1A is like, we still had to lend him a hand, cooperate with each other so we could be equals once again. We see that Bakugo is literally almost having the same thoughts I have. He literally wants to kick Aoyama because of the hell he went through when he got captured. And I don't blame him. I mean, I would want to literally beat up that kid with everything I have for everything he has done. We see Kirishima trying to be supportive and remind Aoyama of the good things he has done. I mean, being there to get Midoriya back while literally hiding the pain, that painful secret that he had to help All for One, and even saying that it's impossible to beat All for One. But they're still trying to remind him, like, you're not really a villain. Remind yourself of the good things that you were able to do, and that they could still get through this together. So it's honestly, it's very nice to see just how supportive and forgiving his classmates are, because I wouldn't be so forgiving. Unfortunately, their emotional conversation cannot continue any further, as Aoyama and his parents need to be taken into custody to verify that the information they're giving is actually truthful. So it's very sad that they have to be separated, but it is for the best. We see even Eraserhead gets involved in this. He's like, I take full responsibility for not being able to detect the mole that was right under our noses. But he says he feels the same way as the rest of Class 1A, which I'm very, very shocked. I thought Aisawa wouldn't be with Class 1A. And it's very, very nice seeing this soft side of Aisawa. He's like, I don't intend to expel you from UA, which is very, very shocking. I'm still surprised. And the thing that caught my attention most, that despite that he doesn't intend to expel Aoyama from UA, he tells them like, okay, cover Aoyama's ears, that he devised a plan. And I wonder, what does this plan involve? Very likely it's gonna have to involve using Aoyama to get to All for One. But I don't think All for One will be very stupid. But who knows? Maybe the plan will be very, very good. So I'm very excited to learn more about this plan. And after everyone hears this plan, they ask, please do not share this with anyone. So this plan must be very risky, and it cannot fall into the wrong ears, not anymore. We see, we go back to the dormitory. We see that everyone, it's kind of down in the dumps. It's understandable, but they still have that fire in their hearts that they need to defeat All for One and all of his allies. They just have to. We also see Ida and Deku saying that they need to upgrade their costumes. As you know, Ida's costume was destroyed and Deku's was already completely destroyed. So they decide to take a trip to the development studio. And you know what happened during that time when Deku went with Ida and Ochako. And of course, once Deku, you know, we see him all pumped and everything. We see him just touching the door, ready to open it, and it blows up. So, deja vu, anyone? And we see, goodness, I couldn't stop laughing at this panel. It just brought so many memories. We see Hatsume landed on top of Deku, and just see it for yourselves. I mean, we literally see Deku's face trapped underneath Hatsume's breast. So it's actually very cool how they ended the chapter. I'm very excited to see what upgrades Hatsume will make on Deku's costume, because I mean it got pretty beat up, and I could imagine Hatsume is gonna make some tinkering, some upgrades on his costume to help him get a better grip control of his quirk. So I'm very, very excited to see that. So very, very interesting chapters. I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen next. I mean, Aoyama was caught as a traitor. He was taken out of UA along with his parents. So who knows what's gonna happen next. I mean, I'm so mad I was wrong about being two traitors, but who knows, maybe there might be another new traitor, but I doubt it at this point. I think it's Aoyama, just only at this point, but who knows. Also, I read an article that Hikoroshi is gonna end My Hero Academia pretty soon. He says very likely this arc only has 1 year left, so it should end around very likely in the middle or late 2022. So it's very, very sad to see that My Hero Academia is ending, but at the same time, I'm not at the same time. If it ends in a very good way, then it protects the legacy, and it just makes it even better if it ends with a great ending. I mean, once you start restoring and everything, you put so much detail, the hardest thing to do, honestly, is how to end it, wrap it up, that it satisfies you as a writer and also satisfies us, the readers. It's not easy to please both sides. I mean, I was a little upset at how Demon Slayer kind of like almost ended the fight with Muson, but the later chapters, the wills of the Hashiras and how it ended, it just felt perfect for me how it ended now. And Demon Slayer just holds a very special place in my heart after everything, and I'm just very excited how well they're gonna animate it. I mean, it's been phenomenal how well they have animated the Entertainment District arc. They've done a phenomenal job, and honestly, I'm very excited to see the other arcs and everything. It's just gonna be awesome. But for My Hero Academia, man, it is gonna hurt once I finish it, but I really hope they wrap it up nicely. Something that will satisfy both the readers and the writer as well. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you for the next video. Bye.